I'm Joseph Hoffman, and this is part 3 of my 4-part series focused on Solfeggietto by Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach. Let's get started by taking a look at measure 22, where we left off last time. Here in measure 22, we have a very dramatic moment where we get our first big rest of the entire piece. The left hand drops on this low D flat in octaves with the tenuto, it's forte here. And then we have this half rest for the right hand. And remember, we're in common time, which is 4/4. So a half rest will equal 2 beats. So most of the time when I have a student get to this part, they tend to rush this rest. You need to give it 2 full beats. So I recommend you count out loud as you practice. 1 E and a 2 E and a. However fast you are playing these 16th notes, that's how fast you have to count this 1 E and a 2 E and a to give that its full value. So let's say if I'm starting right here, I'd have 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That is critical to get the right amount of rest there. So just get in that habit, write it in your music, and remember to count there. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. You also are, of course, free to take the time to circle any automatic flats like this A, because of our key signature. The E becomes natural, so we don't have to flat that. And I don't see any other automatic flats there. And of course, this will be flat because the flat right in front of it. Going on to page 3 of Solfeggietto, now we drop down to a piano. Just don't forget to observe that. We're going to get very soft here. Still a half rest, so 1 E and a 2 E and a. And remember, soft does not mean slower, so don't slow it down. It's quiet, but still intense. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And then suddenly forte again with a tenuto on this B natural, very dramatic moment. We jump back to a forte, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then we've got these 4 notes right here. I'm going to draw a box around. Can you tell me what chord happens there? Don't forget, E's are automatically flat. We have a G and a C, then back to G. What chord do you see? If you said C minor, you're correct. It's a C minor first inversion. And then we come down this scale. Don't forget the B and the A are flat, and the E is flat, all from our C natural minor scale that we're in. And then, we get something fancy. Remember, this is an ornament. If you've been doing my lessons, you might recognize that as a turn. A turn means to play the note you see, then you step up, step back down, step down again, and then back to the original note. And that's how you make a turn. It kind of makes a whoop shape with the notes. And so to help you out, I've written out these teeny little notes which tells you how to play a turn. So let's start with the right hand in measure 25. Again, think of this as a C minor first inversion, but we're going to use 2, 3, 5 because our finger 2 has to be on this E flat because of what we just played in the previous measure. We're coming from this D with finger 1, then we have 2, 3, 5. It's going to be a bit of a stretch, so try those 3 notes, 2, 3, 5. Now you try. Then after you do that, then finger 2 has to come back to G, 2, 3, 5, and then 2. These fingerings are really important. Trust me, as we get to more advanced music, you've got to use good fingerings. 2, 3, 5, 2. Now you try. Good, and then we have 4 notes stepping down. 4 is on B flat, step down, step down, step down, and then 3 crosses over. Now you try. Putting that together. And then we have our turn. And to do any kind of ornaments, you want to stay really relaxed and just let your fingers almost have a mind of their own. They're just going to wiggle on the notes. Stay as relaxed as possible, really close to the keys. You can try it really slowly at first, but then just kind of let Just let your fingers take over, and you're just gonna kind of wiggle them on the keys. Practice that turn a few times. Slowly at first, and then faster. Pause if you'd like some time to work on the turn. Otherwise, let's put that all together. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a turn. And you only have one quarter note to do all those notes. So, let those fingers fly. Keep them close to the keys. When I say let them fly, not this kind of fly, but they're just gonna kind of tickle the old ivories, as they like to say. Pause to work on measure 25, just right hand alone, then press play when you're ready to go on. Now let's back up a little bit. Can you tell me the name of this first note the right hand plays in measure 24? Using your ledger lines, remember the top line of treble staff is flag F. Every ledger line is a skip. So you can think ledger line, a step up brings you to D. So we have D down a sixth, step up, step down, step down, step down, step down. That's that pattern. Now you try. You don't have to play it that fast, by the way. Go slowly at first. Try it again. Go. Good. Then, if we put all of this together, we start with this half rest in measure 22. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Pause to work on those two measures, then press play when you're ready to go on. Good. Now, let's go all the way back to measure 22. The left hand's going to play this low D flat in octaves. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E, the 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now, that's your goal. But let's look at just the left hand alone here in measure 25. We play this C. Finger 2 has to glide up to this F, G, down an octave. Now pause if you'd like some time to work on measures 22 through 25. Otherwise, let's go on and check out just the left hand alone, starting in measure 26. We are back up in treble clef for the left hand. We've got an E flat and C. Try this with me. Find that sixth. And all of these are marked staccato. So 1 E and a 2 E and a, then it steps down. Try that again with me. Measure 26. Get ready. Go. 1 E and a 2 E. Step down. 3 E and a 4 E and a. Then let's go on. Now we have a C and a B flat. So you might bring your finger 5 forward, and that will make it easier for your finger 1. Anytime finger 1 has to play a black key, don't twist your hand, move your hand forward. Just move your whole arm forward, and that will help it feel a lot more comfortable. Try that, go. 1 E and a 2 E and a, then we come to this major third, F and A natural, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Going on, we have a B flat and A flat, go 1 E and a 2 E and a, and then E flat G, 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, then going on to 29, we have A flat, don't forget the automatic flat, A flat and F sharp. Very interesting to have a flat and a sharp in the same chord. Oh, sorry, it's marked piano, so let's play that more quietly. 1 E and a 2 E and a, and then suddenly forte, F sharp and E flat. Again, we're mixing sharps and flats. These chords are going to sound very crunchy and dramatic here. 3 E and a 4 E and a. Now let's try that entire measure. So A flat and F sharp going to F sharp and E flat. So they're all black keys in the left hand here, and just notice that pattern. Here, let's try it together. Go. 1 E and a 2 E. Suddenly forte, 3 E and a 4 E and a. The finger 1 is going to stay on E flat. The finger 5 steps up to G for the downbeat of measure 30. Rest, rest, and then we come down and play this low G. And this is kind of the climax of the entire piece in my mind. Pause if you'd like some time to review that left-hand part. Otherwise, let's look at the right-hand part, which starts here going an octave interval from G to G. And don't forget to rotate your wrist like we talked about last time. Whenever you have back and forth notes like this, you want to use gravity and the rotation of your wrist to make the notes go down. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and then a big jump up and 4 E and piano E and 2 E and forte E and 4 E and don't forget we've got a D flat and a B flat there, then 1 E and 2 E and then forte 3 E and 4 E and we'll stop there. Pause if you'd like some time to work on that right-hand part, measures 26 through 29. Otherwise, let's look at putting it hands together. Now, you don't have to put it hands together today, but when you're ready, you're going to interlock your thumbs, and I recommend keeping the left hand on top, the right hand on bottom. That's going to make it easier because the left hand is the one playing more of the black keys. And to play those black keys, it will be helpful to be in that top position. So place the left hand, then let the right hand come underneath to find this G to G. So left hand over the right hand, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2. Left hand still on top. Then the right hand has to slide out as we have this sudden shift to forte. 3 E and 4 E and right hand slides back under for this next part. 1 E and 2 E. Then forte again. Right hand comes out. 3 E and 4 E and then this is maybe the trickiest part of this whole section because our thumbs are interlocking and they're both playing a black key, which makes it a little extra awkward. So I suggest you bring your left hand as far forward as possible and let the right hand take this very lower edge of the black key. And the left hand is going to be as far forward as possible, and that will help the thumbs have room each to play their respective black key. 1 E and 2 E and why don't you try that? Get your left hand in this position. Bring your finger 1 as far forward as possible to make room for the right hand to come underneath on these two keys, putting that together, 1 E and 2 E and now you try. Good, right hand comes out, left hand drops down to here, right hand's up on these C's, 3 E and 4 E and now you try. Good, and then after that, the left hand comes up here, and that brings us into measure 30. All right, now let's analyze the chords in measure 30. Again, I'm not going to draw boxes for you. Just take a look at what kind of chords are happening through these arpeggios in measure 30. Analyze these chords, and then press play, and we'll check it out together. All right, here in the right hand, we start on a C, E flat, G, C. That builds our C minor arpeggio up and down. Then what about here? We have G, E flat, C, G. It's a C minor arpeggio again. Now we're using inversions. Notice that's all C minor. And then what do we have? F, D, B natural, F. This is a B diminished triad. So if you analyze that as B diminished, you're absolutely correct for the right hand. Then if you add in the left hand with this G, if you put a G together with a B diminished chord, it actually forms a 5-7 triad, which we could also call G7. Now we haven't studied 7 chords yet in depth, other than we've known about the 5-7 chord for a long time. And basically all that is when you have the 5 chord, which is G major, since we're in the key of C minor, G is our 5 chord, and then you just add a note that's a 7th above your root, and that makes a dominant 7 chord. And that's the chord that we have here. It has a B diminished triad inside of it. Add in that G, and that builds what we call the dominant 7 chord. It's a really powerful chord used in classical music to drive us back to tonic. Notice when you hear that, it really wants to drive you back to C minor, which is our home base chord. If I went somewhere else, see, it feels like a huge surprise, right? Or, right? It's not where it's trying to go. This is trying to get us to there, and that's indeed where it goes, to this E flat, and then the very next chord we see is that C minor arpeggio. And what do we have here? We're back to our original theme. Now, but there might be some changes. You always have to assume nothing with composers and check every note, see if there are any surprises. I'd like you to pause the video and on your own analyze from measures 31 to the end, and then press play and we'll check it out together. Okay, if you analyze carefully, this is just like the opening 4 measures of the piece until we get right here. That pattern changes a little bit right there. And in some ways, this note is the grand finale. There's a tenuto over da 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 da, and then we kind of have this winding down with these final few notes. So you'll have to be extra cautious right here so you're ready for this special ending. So backing up to measure 30, we have 1 E, and we're going to use damper pedal here to make it extra powerful. 1 E, and then let go of the damper, let go of the left hand so we get those rests. 1 E, and 2 E, and 3 E, and 4 E, and 1. Now this is one measure. To get it up to full speed, you're going to have to practice this a lot. This is one of those challenge zones. So take it slow and make sure you're using a relaxed wrist. Lots of slow practice, lots of repetition on that. Pause if you'd like some time to work that measure on your own. Otherwise, let's put this entire section together. Going back to measure 22, 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a whoops, 1 E, a 2 E and a forte, piano, forte. Now, as I've been trying to emphasize throughout, slow practice is going to be your friend. It will help you get all the dynamics, the fingerings, the notes. Learn it carefully and don't forget to count so you observe the rests. Watch when your left hand has a rest or your right hand has a rest, be off the key so we hear that silence. That silence is part of the music and the excitement. Whichever section is the most challenging for you, practice just that short section 10 times, no missed notes, and then expand out and integrate it with the other parts. I make the fastest progress when I practice in short sections and then gradually build bigger and bigger chunks. Notice at the end how we have left hand, the right hand has to cross over the left hand to get to those last 4 notes. Watch that again. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. So it's just going to be right hand, and right hand just crosses over for those last four notes. Da, 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 da. Great job learning solfeggietto all the way to the end. The key to making this piece sound amazing is careful, thoughtful practice. So be sure to build good habits every day, including correct notes, rhythms, and fingerings. Start very slowly at first, and with repetition and using the practice tools I've shared, eventually you'll be playing this at a fast tempo and amazing yourself and your friends. In our next lesson, I'll give you some final advanced tips for playing solfeggietto with artistry to truly sound your best. Thanks for watching and happy practicing.